I say like an hour and like 30 minutes. That's me going to Whitewaters. But I'm so used to going to Whitewaters now. It's like I should get my CDLs now. Like
I bet you Florida.
yeah, no, with the CDLs, I'm so it's so many different outlets I can take, but I right now I like holding it off because I don't really like trucking can be that's like something I could do and be like it'd be a quick nice money one by myself and whatnot, but it's also something it's not one of my passions. So I mean, granted, I am saving up and like doing stuff with the forklift stuff, and but if like the stuff that I'm working on now flops and it look like trucking it is. No, but
full Republican.
yeah, there's no actually like dead ass serious. Like all the truckers, and this is probably just me and my luck because it could be Beto has bad luck when it comes to customers, and I have good luck when it comes to customers. But when I mean truckers, like 99.9% of them are really, 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 really nice, like down to earth people. Like every time I help them or like get like when I was in Menards, I used to do the forklift and used to get take the stuff off of their flatbeds. Whenever I meet one of the truckers, like I remember my first time meeting one of them, and that's hence like my first time being on forklift. It was my first time being by myself and whatnot, unloading a truck, and the guy came. I remember he comes off. He's like, "This your first time on a forklift?" I'm like, "Yeah, this is my first time." I thought he was like, "Well, hurry the fuck up," but no, he was like, "Oh, you just do this, do that." He was just showing me it, and like time, like he was patient. Like he did not give a shit how long it took me, which is crazy because even my managers, like the head ups on that day, will treat Menards as a shitty job to start with, but just the GMs, they would be like, "Oh, he can't help you." Like I had so many truckers that's willing to help. I knew it was a shitty job when the truckers was helping me, like they was working there. That's even crazier. That's why I laugh and I gag, because it's like Menards was such a shitty job. I kid you not. The managers were supposed to help me, and even like the managers. Okay, so we have like the department managers, and then we have the general managers.
Right.
Department managers are usually busy. The general managers, depending, they really ain't doing shit, but like, oh, let me look and paperwork and this and that and the fourth. And then if they're on your dick, they going to be going over to wherever you doing and be like, oh, you weren't supposed to do that, but you ain't gonna help me. Like this one time I got so pissed off, and the trucker got pissed off too, because this is not the first time I was on the forklift. I want to say this is like a year or two, and we were super low. The pandemic happened, and we were super low on workers. I was the only one working outside at the second, and I was unloading this flatbed. He knew I was the only one that was working at the moment. Plus me unloading the flatbed, dealing with guests, whatever happens in the outside. And remind you, we're on West Milwaukee, so it's super busy. So whatever happens, I'm dealing with it personally. I have to deal with it. I have to tell the customers, like, you gotta give me a second. And it seemed like the customers have more patience than the actual boss, like the GMs I was messing with. They would come up to me.
Money.
Yeah,
Money. Hurry it up. Slow motion.
That's why I got so pissed off. I'm like, if you tell me to hurry up, help me. I'm literally, what do you think? I'm about to shell clone different niggas to help me? There's no way. There's no way. I don't know if he thought I had 8 arms, but that's a different story. I go to that one after I'm done with this one. But the trucker was helping me. He saw that I was like the only one. He was like, well, I got you. You know, I'm forklift certified and this and that. I drove a forklift. But in policy, in Menards policy, it's still, you can, if like you're not under the company, you don't supposed to be on the forklift, which I get.
He got on
but
the forklift.
No, he got on the forklift,
Okay.
and I was like, I didn't give a fuck, because clearly they did for me. So I was like, if you want help, you can help. God bless you. He was like, I'll help you. I got you. He gets on the forklift. I'm on the forklift. He's taking, because he knows I'm the only one. So what happens was, I guess needed my help. And he comes to me. I'm like, okay, I got it. Can you like do the truck? He was like, I got you. Don't worry about it. He's getting the stuff off. And I was helping the guests. And I come back. My GM sees him on the forklift, and he comes to me. He's like, what is he doing? I'm like, he's helping me, like, because clearly y'all niggas ain't helping me. So what the fuck are you gonna do? Like, it's only me. And he's like, well, it's policy. You can't be on the forklift. You gotta tell him to get off. And I'm like, well, why don't you tell him to get off? No shade. Like, I'm like, and there's
He's
no
the boss.
shade. Yes.
He's higher up
They
than you.
like, don't be pointing fingers, making me do shit that you supposed to be doing. Like, I hate that. And that's why when I left Menards and went to a different job and realized that shit was shit. Like, there's no way. I like the way I got fired, to the way they was doing things, to the way, granted, my managers was good, like majority of them, at least the department managers. The GMs was ass. I can probably 1 or 2 of them was okay, but there wasn't like greatness. Like, I'm not looking up and like, oh my God, you're the best thing in the world. Like, you're not the second coming. Like, I literally, they was so shitty. They all, the first, because I went through 8 batches of GMs.
Like through the time you've been.
Yeah. So okay. So the original 4 that I start out with, they went through a remodel. Some shit happened, and something went to some shit hit the floor with I guess the higher ups or something like that, and the remodel took longer than expected, and they were just on our ass. Well, on their asses, and well, hence they was on our asses to do some shit. So what ended up happening, they all lose their jobs. Laura got fired for stealing. Mike left. He transferred to somewhere. He didn't transfer, but he left for a different job in Florida. Ken was the head GM. That was his store, so he got fired. Tavares moved to, Beto's girl, Esme, her store.
Oh.
That's his store now. And when that happened, they came in, the new ones. It was Vinny, who else? Mike, who else? It was some weird ass guy, and Joel, and he was the robot one. Like, he acts human, but like when I kid you not, I feel like he was like
An NPC.
Yes, Terminator or some shit. It's
Okay.
like at the end of the night, at overnights, he will like be like, we're all sleepy, me, Beto, and the person that we was working with, Shikari, and he just be like, so guys, y'all doing okay? I'm like, there's no way you've been up. You got here like at 5 a.m., did the overnight, and you're still okay. He was like, I only used one. He's like, I only used one energy drink. And like, he's wide awake. I'm like, you sure that energy drink wasn't laced with crack or something? There's no way you're up and ready to go for the world again. He was like, oh, I'm good. I'm okay. Well, thank you guys. But like, it was so robotic. But I mean, that was him. But out all the new GMs, it was one that didn't like me at all. Vinny. I don't know why. Like, it's okay. Like, I was.
How did you figure out that?
Because you can ask bait though. Everything. It was. No, it's because I remember. I was a kid, I was outside working my ass off like a slave, and there's no shade. I was swaying, working, and going back forth, because I'm the only one.
Job?
Huh?
Was Menards your first
job? Yeah. Menards was my first job.
I can see that. Yeah. When is your first job? You know.
Well, no, even then, it's like I always put passion. Well, I'm not even passion. I always do.
Pride in your work.
Yeah,
okay,
not even pride. It was more on the level of like, I know what I'm doing and whatnot. Let me try hurry up and do it like get it done. Like, I'm not lazy or anything. Like, if I'm there to work, I'm going to work. Till I figured it was all bullshit, and I kind of put my 100% down to like a 70, and they was like, "Hey, you ain't doing what you used to do," and they got pissed off. But no, I was like actually trying to close the night out, and I was the only person doing 20, and I think Mondo was doing, my coworker was doing 19. So these are the sheds, the wood sheds and whatnot, the board sheds, and I was doing 20, and which has drywall and like insulation and all that good stuff. And I just remember hurrying up and like be on the forklift, getting off the forklift, getting on the forklift, going back and forth, and all you see is no shade. All you see is Vinny, because this, so let's say this is the board shed, right?
Yep.
And this is the store, but it's a door right here. No, this is a store, but it's a door right here, right?
To get to.
Yeah, and this is outside, and it's the board shed. I come out of the board shed, and I'm just getting like something. I'm putting something away like outside, and then I go back inside. But Vinny was right here looking.
Oh, he's watching.
I kid you not, he was like, "Who's on the forklift?" And just got into 19. Was it 19? No, 20. I was like, I answered the radio. I'm like, it was me. Like, something wrong? Like, I'm working right now. He was like, he didn't reply.
Damn.
I was like, and I did it again. I'm like, is there something wrong? It was me, Randy. Like, you need something? Did not reply. He goes all the way to the board, not board shed, but into receiving, which is outside of, I'm right before outside of board shed.
Yeah.
And which is Luis is my manager at the second. He was like, tell Randy to put his seatbelt on. Not like it's so vague. Like, I'm like, there's no fucking way. I'm swaying.
Put your seatbelt on.
You know I'm working my ass off right now. I'm going back forward, doing things like this is the last night on earth. Like I'm like working my ass off, and he's that paid to be like, oh yeah, tell him to put the seatbelt on. You know, I see him with his out seatbelt. Like, just let him know. You're
gonna get a write up.
Literally, like there's no way. There's no way. He was like, yeah, go to Luis. Let me, yeah, tell him to put his seatbelt on. Yeah, he ain't putting his seatbelt on, so I'm gonna write his ass up. You know, I'm so fucking done with this piece of shit. You know, he always going around laughing. I knew to let my laugh would irritate the shit out of him. Most people I get, but him and this. So the okay, it's another GM. I'll go back to the story in a second, but it's another GM that's kind of new, but he gave off like the racist vibe. There's no shade. There's no shade. It was like more of like, where are you from? Like, yeah, literally, boy, where you coming from? I kid you not. I think Beto left before he came, but I kid you not, I go because I'm trying to break the ice when I first met him, because I've been here for a minute, so I know like how to like talk to people and like go to like new workers or whatever. I'm like, hey, what up, homie? Like, I'm like what? I was like, what up, homie? He's like, hi. I'm like, shit, if you don't like niggas, just say that. Jesus. Like,
hey man, he's on a clock. You can't.
He literally straight him up. He was like, hi. My bad, tough crowd. Like, what you want me? I just said, what up? Like, I'm trying, like, what up? How you doing? Like, how your day? You know, is Menards.
You know?
Yeah. He did not get no social cues. It was more level of just.
Maybe you was having a bad day.
No, because the next day I was working with a coworker. This is where it gets interesting, because I was working with a coworker. And we just dicking around and whatnot, playing, and I think in the board shed we was laughing. We was still working, but we was still laughing, and because it's an echo, you can hear my laugh. You heard my laugh before, yeah. So it's a little loud, and the echo's out there. So of course, in the let's treat this as the door, so the cars can get in and do the orders. Yeah, you know where I is. So the gate guard, and that GM was at the gate guard, and he's right here while I'm in 20 laughing it up, cleaning with what's his name? I forgot his name, but he works over where Esme works at now. And
you're saying
Damien,
your laugh like
no, it was like it's echo. Yeah, it echoed or some shit. Like, he was just on my dick, but he knew what I was doing on now. He knew we was still doing work on now. We was just laughing, and Damien was being so goofy. It's so stupid because he was just running just to run. Think of like you doing work, and this nigga just passed through you. Like, just like he does stupid stuff. I think I got on my phone, but it was like goofy things. Like he knew I was gonna laugh, and it's just so stupid. And I'm laughing, right? He goes, he hears it. I think his name is Fred. I say this and going back to it, but every person I know that just never gave me the racist vibe and whatnot, their name has one syllable. They drive a 4x4 a pickup truck, and their favorite genre is country. There's no shade. When Fred, I said, Fred heard my ass from all the way over there. He got on the radio. It was like, oh my God, I can hear your laugh from all the way over here. And I didn't have a radio, and I'm like, because if I did, I'm like, nigga, get off my dick. Like, what? He was like, Jesus, I can hear your laugh all the way from here. I'm like, he's like, this is how you laugh on the north side? Like, I knew he was probably going to say, I knew he was thinking of it. There's no way.
Hear it all the way over.
Yeah, he's like, that's crazy because I just drove past north side. I heard y'all. Like,
that's fucked.
With Fred, it's funny because toward the end of my career over there, I call him Frey just to piss him off. I'm like, Frey, now, there's no way you should be pissed off.
Getting under his skin.
Yeah. Like, and apparently he was talking to one of my coworkers, Kevin, and he was like, when his first time meeting the black person was when he was like, how did that conversation comes up? But he was like, yeah, I was like 25 when I first met my first black person. I'm like, hence why the interactions we have.
Who says that? That's crazy.
I'm like, I get it. Now, and I was like, I now understand.
You gotta understand it here, it's pretty segregated.
No, yeah, no shade, but it was more in a level like he's like that thing when he was like, I can hear you laugh from over here. Like, I just heard like the hard R from him, like translate to the hard R. Like, he was like
during his free time.
Yeah, he was like, like when he comes in from college and whatnot, I could see him like getting out of college, going in a room, locking the door, and be like, yeah. Exactly. It's no shade. I can see it. You don't have to lie to kick it, Craig. You don't have to lie, but I can see him doing that. And the thing was, so when he did that on not just that's another thing with that GM. But going back to Vinny with the situation where I was taking the stuff out, I went to Luis. I'm like, what did he say? He said, oh, B, he said, you got to put your seatbelt on. I'm like, he couldn't just tell me that? He couldn't just walk out his fat ass over there a couple of steps and then tell my ass to, know.
Yeah.
It's just irritating because he's the one that fired me. He knew what he was doing. He was waiting for it too, because the day before I got fired, it was me. Because remember I told you I used to do 100% like effort to everything.
Yep.
And I dropped it to 60 or 70. And then they got all offended. It was like, look, we hear you talking, because I was fed up. It was like, we hear you talking shit about the company and whatnot. And we just don't need that energy and whatnot. Plus your work ethic, you used to do this and that. I'm thinking, because they said something about improvement plan. I'm like, oh, y'all about to give me a phone? That's crazy. I mean, it's been a minute. I mean, finally. But no, they was talking about how they need to my work ethic needs to improve. I'm like, fuck y'all. What the fuck? Talking about, I've been in this bitch for 4 years, and y'all talking about improvement plan? That's crazy. My raise, granted, not even granted. What's even crazier, the job that I got, I'm getting paid what, $7 or $8 more than I ever did at Menards, doing the same shit that I did for less hours that I was like doing over there. Like, I used to go crazy over there for a job that's literally treat me like shit, treat everybody like shit.
But at least the coworkers.
The coworkers, of course, I met my best friend over there. I'm not going whole. Like, I always say this, like, I met you're gonna meet so many good people in the most shittiest places. It's gonna be hilarious because I met so many good cool people there, like characters, like you think you will only meet in movies and whatnot, in the most shittiest place in the world. Like they just like corporate America. That's crazy. But when Vinny fired me, that mean that day, the improvement plan mean, I was just looking at his ass. I'm like, he was like, because granted, some of the stuff that he was bringing up was kind of valid. I knew they only put out there because it was like they had me at the second. It was like, oh, why not just say while we here now? It was like, because some people have earbuds on, and granted it's a safety hazard, I get it, but I don't put both of them on. I only have one in, and it's only to listen to music while I'm working. And it's not like I'm driving like I'm like a north side driver, doing lefts, right, doing swerves and shit. Looking at cars are like beep beep. Like I gotta be cautious about cars and like different people coming in and out the board shed. So I'm not retarded. I mean, no shade, but it's more to the level of when he brought that up. I'm just looking at him. I'm like, You waited for this, didn't you? You was jerking off. He was like, I'm gonna get it. He was looking at me, eyes glued on me. And I was like, I'm glued on him. I'm like, I knew it. I know it. Mike over there, the head GM and whatnot, just talking to me. He's like, yeah. I'm like, Mike, shut the fuck up. This ain't about you. This is about you. I'm looking at Vinny. I'm like, if I ever get fired, I know it's gonna be on your time. And hence the next day, and I knew once he said, Wednesday was talking about how, I knew when they did the improvement plan, they was waiting for one slip up, one tiny little slip up, and that tiny slip up happened when I came in late, and it was crazier. I came in late, and I saw while I'm coming in, Vinny walks across. Like while I'm like going to drive the parking lot and whatnot, I'm like, "Hey, Vinny." I knew when he said, when I did that, he was there. Pew! He was like, "I got him. We got him. Boys, we got him." I didn't have my time clock thing on badge, so I didn't swipe in. So when I went over there before the end of the night, Jakari was closing in. He gave me a paper to sign, put the time thing on. So I didn't know what time I actually came in, but I estimated it was around like 1:07. Well, I said 1:07, and I was like, it was around that time. Plus, in Menards, you only got 5-minute grace period. So if you try to save yourself up on point, it has to be before that 5 minutes. So like 1:04, 1:03. But I knew I was late, and I knew Vinny saw me, so I wasn't gonna lie. I'm gonna be like, fuck it. I'm at 1 point, so what kills me to get just one more point? I'm like, I'm gonna put 1:07. Just that'd be all. I put 1:07 over there, and then Vinny comes. I knew he was looking at that time. He's like, I got him. I was helping the guests. That's even more shittier because I came in, clocked in the next day, working, helping the guests and whatnot. And there was like, Luis said, Vinny wants you in the room or some shit. I don't know if I forgot what the room is called, but he's like, he needs you. And I'm like, okay, bet. And I see Luis before I go in there. I'm like, if he about to fire me, I'll walk out now. Like, I don't want to see his face and whatnot. I can just walk out without just looking at him, smelling him. No shade. But he was like, no, they're not about to fire you. It's only like 2 minutes. You never did this before, so it makes no sense for them to fire you. I'm like, that makes sense. So the kicker is I go up there, and before I go up there, I see Mike, the GM of the store, and I was like, hey Mike, because he always says hi to me. He's like the, no shade, that happy Caucasian, like you like always go lucky. He has green striped socks. He has striped socks each day and whatnot, just giving you good. Hey, but once I said, hey Mike, how you doing? It was like, he did not say nothing to me. Shit. I was like, I know what time it I went upstairs. I'm already laughing because I knew it was some bullshit. And I see Vinny's face. I'm bawling laughing. I said, fuck it. I'm laughing at his ass. And he's just getting pissed off. I can see his face. He's just getting more. Hold on, give me a second.